Welcome everybody, welcome to my Instagram live with me, Mijean. And today I have a special guest once again, it's Antonella Buono. She's an illustrator and really an artist. And she's going to explain what she does, what is her art, so you will get in touch with her very soon. She's on. I greet her. Hi Antonella. Antonella, let's get started. Now we are getting connected.
See myself loading. Hello, how are you?
Oh,
So good to see you.
so good to see you as well.
It was a long time from Fashion Week in Rome when we met.
Yes, Alta Roma.
Yes, I wish we were back at these times where we didn't know about anything that would happen, but
No,
there we
yes,
are.
here we are, but I think in September, let's
Here we
cross
are.
fingers that we can make it for September.
Really,
Yes.
really, let's
So
hope.
I explained a little bit to my guest that, and then, yes, it will get fine, I think. I
Yeah,
always stay positive. I think that's the most important, to stay
same.
positive. That's the way to go forward. So I was explaining that some of them are getting in, checking in like right now. So you are illustrator, but you are much more than just an illustrator. So I will let you explain because I only talked about one part of it, but you do a lot
Yes.
more. So go ahead. What is it? What you do exactly? Yes.
Bro, or wait, the connection is lagging a little bit. Do you prefer for me to talk while I draw? So I would just like turn my camera on my drawing, or how do you want to do it?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So we can do
With
like while you're drawing, and then you can just talk. I think then they have also something to do.
my tripod, so let's see if it works. Yes, apparently
Yes.
you can see my drawing. Yes, cool.
Mhm.
And maybe
And it's really, yes, a more, yes,
for
I think it's, yes,
it was organized by FIDA Worldwide, and it was a call from Peter Dundas to illustrate his iconic pieces. And I decided to go in a big scale just because, I wanted to try something different. And as we are locked home, I thought, if not now, when? And yes, so these are the girls. And then I thought, as we are gonna have this nice interview, maybe I could keep going and finish them. I wanted to add like some stripes and some textures, but just, a chit chat and see where this
yes.
goes.
So just what you did now in the beginning is that like the first layers, the beginning, to the shapes, doing the shapes. That is what you did.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like the outline basically. I mean, I already added like a lot of shading information, and I never exactly know where I would go with one piece when I start, especially because, as I said, this is not really my usual scale. Then I didn't know if I would color it, if I would leave it like that. But, we try, we see where we go.
And what kind of pencils are you using? What the material? What is it?
Well, in this case, I'm using like, I mean, this is like an oil based pencil just because I'm gonna add the texture, but the whole thing is done with a variety of like graphite and these little charcoal sticks that I have
Mhm.
here, which I'm just like
Yes.
experimenting for the first time, like right now. And I'm having
Mhm.
so much fun. It's kind of like a very bold outlines. It's kind of like different than what I usually do, but that's why I find it like super exciting. When you try
Mhm.
something else, then when you go back to do your own thing, like the so much better. So I always try to challenge me
Yes.
with a different scale, a different media that I've never used.
Mhm.
Challenges, as I said. And
Yeah.
it's fun.
Are you going to add as well some color to it, or is it in the later
Well,
stage?
color, I think not, because because I feel like this is like a black and white kind of piece, and I think I'm just gonna
Mhm.
add like the texture, and that's it. There's like some stripes going on, and yeah, I love black and white, and yeah, I started with color just
No,
like recently, actually.
yeah. Antonella, where did that inspiration, that inspiration come from to do that painting? Because
Well, like this, as I said, it was like for this kind of a challenge, and the inspiration of doing like the large scale was to challenge myself one extra layer of difficulty and see what I could do in a large scale since I've never did. And then I went on the Vogue runway just to check on the latest like Dundas fashion shows,
yeah,
and I've seen these like three pieces which I really liked, and I thought that they would go well together. And then I composed like a mock-up in Photoshop. I put like the three girls together just to test the composition and see if I would like it, if it would work. And off I went. I just like gave like a very light outline, and yes, and then keep
and
going.
when you go back to your beginnings, because I know that you graduated more like a fashion designer, and
Yes.
why did you choose to do something completely different? Because I think this is a little bit different than your studies, huh?
Well, I have like a very diverse background because I graduated in fashion design as a fashion designer and in a fashion academy like here in Rome. And then as soon as I graduated, I mean, while I was graduating, actually, I had the chance to like work on a movie. And as I'm usually very enthusiastic about all of the new like opportunities, I said yes, even if I didn't have any idea of what it was like to be a costume designer. Because as I
Yeah.
said, like I was just like graduating, but I said, you know, why not? Let's try it. There was like this producer doing this movie, like all with up and coming, you know, directors and actors and stuff. And then that's why I jumped on board. And I found that it was like really super cool because actually, yes, even when I would do fashion school, I never was really into fashion. I mean, I like fashion, but more in terms of like an archetype that communicates like a creature, which is a different woman like every time. But I'm not sure, even if I thought I liked it, I'm not sure. I mean, I've ever really been a fashion designer, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
I am, but
But you
I
like more the
enjoy more
characters, if I
different
hear you
aspects.
speak.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then I graduated, I did this
Okay.
movie, and then I
And
found that I really
because,
liked it,
yeah,
and
continue.
and then I think I need to go like a little bit lower for this, and yes, after that, you know, when you start like in a field, you know more people, they start like asking like for you to work with them. And basically, like when I did this experience as a costume designer and I found that I really, really liked it, I asked the producer, I said, listen, I did that, but you know, I was really like a newbie. I never really did
Wait. Yes.
learn the job, but I did it. I don't know. I don't even know how I did like a movie all on my own, like without even having done anything like that. And then he said,
Mhm.
"Yes, I know this like costume designer." And then I've been like her assistant in advertising because this is like the field that she would work in, and this is how I learned. And then as I already
Yeah.
did like a movie, I was kind of like good at doing the work, you know, because I already went through the hard challenge of a movie, and then advertising for me was a lot easier because it was faster, easier characters, and it
And
was really.
that part was more like the styling part that you're also doing, yeah?
I'm sorry, say it again.
It was also more the styling part when you were like working on the movies and so on.
Exactly. Then it kind of like all came together, what I said about like the fashion and yeah. So that's how it went. And then after a while, and then it goes on like I think I need to use like a larger guide, or I will never finish this ever. And so
And what
after
are you going to add now? Because I see you change tools, huh?
yeah, the stripes are actually like black and silver, so I need to do like the color of the stripes,
Yeah.
And I'm using a little, like, I can't remember the brand because I ripped away the paper. I don't like the the paper, and I don't know. But anyways, it's just like another little like soft charcoal pastel.
Okay. Antonella, can I just ask, because I think maybe sometimes the connection stays a little bit blocked, huh?
Yeah. So you can
Yes, can
see.
you change a little bit? Not all, because at times I see well, other times I see less. Maybe if you play with it, that it gets better.
If I don't know what I could do at the moment because that's my connection. So if it's lagging, I don't really know how to fix that. Let's hope that it will just like stay.
Yes, it will fix maybe from itself. Yes, now it gets better. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
Sorry for that. I don't know. I think I've been having like a lot of online classes
Yeah.
because I am a teacher as well, and my
Yes.
it's like causing some issues and connectivity.
Yes. It's the same over here. Sometimes the connection is good, sometimes it's less, but
Yeah.
it's okay. So you mentioned you are also a teacher.
Yes.
So how did you get to the teaching part?
Well, my former director at the US university I worked for came in Italy and spoke to my school, just asking for them if they had like any valid, students that were like, of course, like graduated in the past, and that they could undertake like the program. And and then she interviewed like a bunch of people, and then I got the job. And I'm super happy because at the time I was really working stylist, and I thought that was my life. I was happy with that. It was like full of adrenaline, and I said, "What is this teaching thing? I'm not sure." But once again, as I'm very enthusiastic about like new things, I just went for it, and
Yeah.
it's just great. It's super, like it's such an amazing experience to.
Yes. And which topic do you teach now? You teach several topics?
I teach like a lot of courses. Say it again.
Yeah. Which topics do you teach when you teach? You have several classes, several topics?
Yes, I teach fashion design, fashion illustration, trend forecasting, fashion
Yeah.
styling, and design concepts. And then I might teach even like different like courses such as like Italian culture through fashion, stuff related to fashion in general, technicalities and cultural aspects.
And when you teach, do you get to notice very fast when someone is like really gifted in like in one part and one thing that you say, okay, that person is really gifted and can you see that immediately when you are teaching or not yet?
Well, Yes, yes, you could definitely see talent, even if the person is not mature yet, and this is what the schools are for. But you can definitely tell, yes, I had a lot of talented students, and it's very good to have the exchange. That's why I said that it's super exciting to teach, because when you have like the talented like groups, it's the energy
Yeah.
goes like, and it's like it's super fun. And you know, they're younger than me, of course, so they keep me young and happy, and you know, and it's
Let's see. Wow.
I need to check how
No,
this
no, I can
is
see it a
coming,
lot.
because
It's good.
sometimes, yeah, because you know, like you always need to check. I think I need more movement.
Mhm. And now, what are you using for materials? Is charcoal?
Yes, it's still like the same charcoal stick that I took when I started. Like first I started with a pencil, like an oil based, and now I'm doing it with the charcoal stick.
Okay. It's really amazing. It gives already like the, and you can see it really come alive already. It's really nice.
I hope it's I'm not gonna mess up, because as I said in my stories, I said, guys, I'm gonna go live and trying to complete this. Chances are I'm gonna mess up, because I'm not like a good like talker and drawer, and it's not easy. And then if you mess up, it's messed up. But who cares? I can do another one.
Mhm. But it really looks great. So,
Thank you. There's still like so much to do.
and I also wanted to go back, like you said, also you're also like creative director. So,
Yes,
um,
at some point I've been like a creative director as well.
and what do you
I
do then exactly in that function, in that job function?
In that job function in particular, I had like this company where we would organize some fashion,
Yes.
would take care of about the artistic aspect, and it was like super cool, like very demanding, because it's like oh my God, it's wow, events, it's something else. And but it was nice,
Mhm.
because the purpose of the company was actually to help young designers to grow,
Yes.
because I'm a firm believer that if there's no research, there's no development. And in Italy, I feel like we don't do as much research as we could in fashion. You know, people like designers like Iris van Herpen, for example, they
Yes.
can grow and flourish and create if they
Yes.
are a fashion designer. You might be like very poor. For example, my family didn't support me at all, and because it's a miracle that I graduated. Could you imagine if I could do research, you know, buy expensive fabrics and creating something?
Mm. And you have to support yourself.
Say, I lost you. Are you still there?
Yes, yes, I'm still there. So,
Okay, I lost you for a second.
yes, I lost you as well. So I said like when you have to support yourself, you said that more. Is it?
Yes, and then as I grew, I thought that giving some young designers the opportunity to have an artistic residence in fashion was like a good thing to do, because artists, they do have artistic residences, but not fashion designers. And so the project was to be able to give this like freshly graduated like designers the opportunity to have some
Yeah.
money to spend and create an art installation that then we would display at Bramante Cloister, which is an amazing cloister, like a Renaissance building in Rome. And
Okay.
it was great.
So if I understand correct, so young artists, they also get the place to do their art, but also to stay like
Well,
a residence place. No? Yes.
honestly, we couldn't give them like a place to sleep, but they had one. But we gave them the tools to create. They
A
bricks,
workplace.
if they would need like a place to work, to do their workshop, if they would need like a to sew their
Yes.
create their ideas. And yeah, it was very
It's
cool
like
because
we have the same kind. And you do it very fast. Huh? You see, like I think the middle one is already halfway, almost finished. It looks like it.
yes,
No.
yes, yes, it's coming, but it's like it's still
Yeah.
like something to do. Like you never finish in drawing. I mean, you have an hard time understanding when you can let it go.
That's also the nice part that you can really start to create and add things. And yes.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's like when you're like, oh, I can see the creature. She's
Yeah.
alive. She's looking at me. She's 3D.
And when you make a big sketch like that, after that, where does it go?
Well, as this is my first time, I really don't know. I think I'm gonna
Yeah.
roll it and keep it for the future. I don't know for the.
Oh, it's so beautiful. I think you should put it somewhere. It's really nice.
Yeah, maybe I'll leave it here in this room. I don't know.
Or maybe something for the next Alta Roma. Who
Yes,
knows?
why not? Who knows? I mean, in Alta Roma was great this year because I got the chance of like drawing live during the fashion shows, and I loved it. And yeah,
Yeah. And
I
that's also the
I
place we met, huh?
yes, fighting for that first row, right?
Yes. Always trying to be first, have a good
Always
photo.
try to get the best spot to see. Well, now we need to go with the skirt. Can you still see it if I'm
Yes,
in this?
I can see the whole
Okay,
skirt. I can see it
cool.
pretty well.
Oh, so
And
I'm
is
I'm,
it
I'm
difficult, like when you have those images, you put them together in Photoshop? I know I use Photoshop for my pictures, but
yeah.
I think I don't assemble the way you do usually. It's different.
Well, what I did was quite simple. I mean, I just like put the photos of the girls from the runway like together.
Yeah. Oh,
And
okay,
then
okay.
I changed it. I can show you after. I changed it like a little, but because you always change and interpret. But
Mhm.
yeah, it was not that I did draw it first in Photoshop. In Photoshop, I just put the three of them together
Mhm.
just to see if they would really work or not. And then I said, okay, this is like a nice group. I can go.
No, they really work well together. It's nice.
So
And
Where are you at the moment?
in Brussels, stuck in Brussels, and
Okay.
so
We are all stuck somewhere.
yes, but I think we have a little bit more freedom than you have.
Yeah, actually on the 4th we will be allowed to go out again and to see our families.
Yes, it's the same
It's
here.
yeah.
Everyone is looking forward to that moment that we can go out and meet families. So,
Yes.
Mhm.
Wow, this is physically demanding. Let me tell you, it's not, it's not easy.
What is the most difficult part?
But no, just physically, you have this large
Yeah.
movement. I mean, usually it's just like a small paper, and here instead I have to go with like this wider movement. But this is like such a good warm up for future drawing.
Yeah. But it's also you can see that's your daily exercise. So
Yes,
good.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
As I'm not working out at all, so that's why this is maybe so challenging for me at the moment because I'm being like completely non-active.
Mhm.
Who knows?
Yeah. And you also work as a visualizer for opera and film. Eh?
Yes.
How does that go? Can you explain?
Well, that goes, when you do movies and operas, costume designers, like they need to draw their costumes. And sometimes as you have like a lot of characters, and
Yes.
not every costume designer is also like a good illustrator. I mean, they might have incredible ideas, but not necessarily the concept like matches their ability to draw. So either they don't have the time or the skill, and then they need help from illustrators to, actually pre-visualize their ideas. And
Okay.
that's
And
where
then you give
I
advice, say this works, this doesn't work, and so on.
say it again.
You give advice in saying like this works, or did you have to change this and this and this, or
No, 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 no. You draw with them. Like you kind of like follow their inputs, and you create the illustrations based
oh,
on their concepts. You can also, of course, like propose your ideas as well, just to because then it becomes like a creative thing. So you're not
yeah,
only their hand, you're always like a creative then that helps them to to make the vision come through. And I worked like on a lot of like different operas and
yeah. Can you name a few? Which one did you like most, or if you,
well, actually one of the greatest projects that I've been working on, which is not an opera, is a movie, and it's the Grand Budapest Hotel by Wes Anderson.
I saw that one.
You saw it? Yeah.
Yes, it's
and
amazing.
then, as you know, it won like the Academy Award for costume design, and Milena
Yes.
Canonero won her fourth Oscar with that. And working with her was certainly like one of the most incredible experiences of my life.
And also
And
the cast as well, I think, and the costumes, the cast, and even everything that was around us was amazing. Huh?
yeah, I mean, it was like so incredible. And
How,
then I
how
worked
many how many
yeah.
months of work was that?
Well, I don't know. I can't remember, but because the preparation for a movie like that, it's like big, it's like 1 year or something. And then I come like the illustrators, and it's a crew of like 4 or 5 people.
Yes.
They come in like a little bit later. So I think like the preparation for the creative thing was like, well, I could say something very inaccurate, maybe 3 months, but I don't remember how much it was because I came when they already started, so I'm not sure.
Okay. And was it in the middle of the movie or more? When was it? If you can divide the movie in 1 year, was it?
No, because it doesn't go like that. Everything goes like together at the same time because they have to do the historical researches about like the time period and collect like all of the books and all of the references, and they collect books, like Milena collects books from like all over the world. There's not
Yeah.
like a resource that she doesn't put her hands on. and that's why she wins like Oscars, because and so that is like a part of the creative like work, and then you do all of this like I don't know how to name them, like you separate all of the materials, you make photocopies, you make folders, and each character has a huge folder of ideas big like this, and yes, so like and then you start doing like the first preparatory sketches. For example, for that movie, we started to work on Angelica Houston and as Madame D, but then she didn't do the movie, and then we changed for Tilda Swinton. So all the stuff that we prepared for the previous actress was like eliminated to go on the new one. So it's like
it's a lot, yes.
it's quite long and demanding. But yeah, but it was super cool because I mean the thing that happens with a person like Milena Canonero is that like she gives to you the perception of like the world is a very small place, because she's like, oh, we need to call Patrizia in Paris because I need she has some incredible bows that we can put on the shoes. And then we need to call, I don't know, Christine in Russia because she paints the fabric in such an amazing way, and we need her to produce some samples for us. Because, for the Grand Budapest, we also did the textiles, because for Madame D, she wanted to have some Klimt-inspired prints. And then we did like all of the textiles, like pre-visualization, that then were painted on the garments. And so can you imagine that? Like after working with Milena, I understood why there's such a huge credit list in a movie. It's like, because it's huge. The work is incredible. Imagine also, like, this is a story that I always say. Imagine like for the Grand Budapest, I was working at the sketch for oh my God, I can't remember the name of the main actor. Please help me. The main character. I don't know why it's slipping my mind. I'm blanking. Well, whatever.
I can have a look here.
We will remember. Anyways.
Yes.
And so I was working on his character, and then he's like this doorman, like he works in this hotel, and he has like two little like symbols of a key on his jacket. And I think I looked like an entire day of like 10 hours, because with Milena you work like I don't know, 24 hours a day, for like all of the shapes of keys that you could have. So imagine that. And then at the end, we decided for one shape that they would make, and it was just like a button basically, and you also do like an incredible research about hair and makeup, which also belongs to the costume designer as a department. I mean, the hair and makeup people then do the job, but the costume designer gives the direction for like what to do. And then we would study like the beard and then a mustache, and Milena is like that kind of person that it's like, add some hair, no, remove them, add some, remove them, because it's like it's the details that make the Oscar. It's the detail that makes that painting that she's able to create up to literally the latest one hair that you have on your head. So it's like, it's incredible.
And you need to have a lot of patience as well, if I hear you talk.
Well, yes, I have to say that it was super hard. I won't lie on that. It's not all like, oh, it's so cool, so cool. No, it's like literally like, it's very hard, like super rewarding, very gratifying, but at the same time, it's like hard, to say the least.
And then from that, do you have another like on an opera that you worked, for example, that you said, this one I really liked, enjoyed to do this one?
Well, another one that I did that was like co-signed by Milena Canonero and Petra Reinhardt, which is another costume designer, which I love. She's the most talented, incredible person that I know. And they co-signed this opera, which was Lady Macbeth of Mtsenk. I don't know how to pronounce it perfectly. And then it was performed at the Greek National Opera last summer. And I went to see the play because I always try to go see. And it was incredible. And opera is, don't ask more about opera because believe me or not, I'm very ignorant about it. I just found myself working on it just because costume designers, they would like talk between each other and they say, oh, you know, she's good, you should work with her, you know, and that's how I roll into the opera. But my family, I mean, we didn't have like a tradition of like going to the opera and this kind of thing. So I basically ignored what it was and before to work on the drawings to the opera. And to be honest, as I'm more of an electronic underground kind of person, I thought that it would be like a little bit boring. Forgive me, but no, I mean, I love classical music, but like, oh, this is like a bit like to me, it's not like what I thought I would love. And instead, when I went there and I've seen like the first like rehearsal at the opera at the time was like in Paris at the Opéra Comique, and the opera was Les Fêtes Vénitiennes, which was like a 600 era costumes like opera. And so the rehearsal, you have like all of the singers and the dancers, they're partially dressed, you know, because they're still like completing everything. And so, but they perform as if it was like the real thing. So you have the public and this and that, and it's just like the general, like prova generale. And then I was sitting there and I would see these people that I would before meet in the corridors of the theater, like dressed like me with like a shirt and sneakers, like pretty, like low profile, like to the point I thought these are maybe seamstresses and I don't know, workers. Not that it's like, but you know, you really did. And everyone like in Paris, they're amazing. In Rome, it's a little bit snobbish. Sometimes we are not like good. And instead in Paris, everyone is like bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. It's like so polite. And then I saw them on the stage, and they would sing with the Bird of Paradise voice. They would jump like 5 meters like across the stage and you wouldn't hear a sound. And then the music and the dance and then I found out that opera just it's the one place that puts together everything I love the most, which is clothing, music, and like dance movement. And maybe that in my next life I could start from there. That's what I thought. Maybe it can be my different start, but we'll see.
It's like me, that is also my inspiration, because I used to have like 10 years an affiliation to the opera in Brussels.
Really?
Yes.
We didn't even talk about this before.
Yes, now we talk, but for 10 years I went, and it was in the beginning I had the same thought as you. I said, oh, it's going to be boring.
Exactly.
And I think I was like, I'm going to be the youngest here.
Yeah.
Actually, after that first one, I kept on going. I said like, oh, yes, I really liked it.
And what did you do for them? Like, what was your role?
No, I just went watching, and
oh, okay, got it.
And I also participated in a few of them. They were like more, opera, but not really like the classic, more like more modern.
Okay.
So I did 2 of them. I did one in Ghent, and that was about one about the genocide in Rwanda. And I could play a soldier, so I didn't have to sing or something like that. I just have to move a little bit.
Okay.
If I had to sing, I think everyone would have gone out.
Well, that was cool.
No, I see like the second woman is almost there as well.
Yeah, but I'm taking some time to think, because I don't know if to add the textures for them or not.
Yeah. And I see now you are using also more like a brush, huh? Possible?
Yes, well, I don't know if this is a technique or not, but I just have this at home and I thought it was like good for doing like a good blending, but I don't know if it's something anyone else uses, but this is how I do it. So don't judge me. Like, if there's any expert, like I'm just doing it out of my own like imagination. Maybe it's not the right thing to do, but who cares?
But it gives a good result. I think that's the most important. Huh?
Yes. Yeah, maybe I should give like the texture. I don't know. I really don't know at this point. There may be some color. I need to step back like a couple of. Oh, okay, now I can see it. You know, you need
Now
to
you can
take.
see more, huh?
You need to take a distance from such a large scale thing just to see what you're doing, because otherwise.
And now you're adding some shade as well, I see, yeah?
Yeah, I've added like some of the shading, and I'm gonna have some highlights, but it's not gonna be possible to erase. But
And do you also collaborate as well with designers as well, projects or
yeah, but that was like more in the past. Like I would be like a freelance like consultant and work with some of them. But then I quickly went into like styling and the other part of the work.
Okay. And do you also work for private clients, or is it mainly?
Well, for now, I have to say I don't take like many. You mean like private illustration of like
Yes, if
people?
like someone says, okay, I want to have something done. Can you make it? Do you do that, or is it more like?
Well, not so much. And also I have to say that the environment out there for the Illustrator, it's not like I have like a lot of inquiries, but when people hear about like the fact that there's a prize, they're like, oh, okay. As if like a drawing, it's not like, you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm sure it happens to you as well as a photographer. It's like, oh, maybe you can come take a few pictures for us. And it's like, yes, like what's the
Yes,
and then they're like, oh no, I was thinking for free. And
exactly.
well, for free I draw what I want, not you.
I have to say, then it's like, okay.
Yeah, okay. I mean, as I said, I'm not like a money person. Otherwise, I would be rich by now, and I'm not. But I think work needs to be recognized, you know, and
Exactly, it needs to be appreciated as well. So
yeah, yeah. And yeah, sometimes it's like it's super funny. I have like this one person, I wouldn't say like any names, of course, but this person contacted me on Instagram and they said, oh, I really like that drawing of you. Can I purchase it? And at the time, I was like so flattered. That's why I'm saying I'm not like a money person, that I said, well, you know, it's a sketch. If you love it so much, I can send it to you. And he said, no, 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 no. Give me the price because absolutely, I want to pay for it. It's very important. And this person was kind of like a big person. That's why I don't say the name. Like, and then at some point, I said the price because he insisted. And believe me, the price was like something totally affordable for anyone, let alone a person of that level, you know? And the guy replied saying, "Oh well, I could pay," and he said like half of the price. I could pay this money for that. I don't like. Why in the first place you asked? I mean, I told you I would give it to you for free. You know.
Yeah.
And now I tell you the price, and you say, no, I can pay half for that. I just found that like sometimes people are very weird.
Yeah, but I think it's a lot of artists face the same thing. I have.
I'm sure. I'm very sure. I mean, I have friends, and we share this kind of stories like all the time.
Mm. And we also have sometimes difficulties because when you create something, sometimes it's like your baby, and it's like that you have problem of like you cannot give it away, you cannot sell it because it's. Do you have
Well,
that too or not?
ma- a little bit, but like not too much. Like imagine that I think I've signed maybe like 3 drawings in my life. And when I do, it's just because some people tell me you need to sign your drawings. So I don't have this attachment to my works. I don't know why. Maybe because look at my hands. Hmm. Cannot scratch my nose now.
Yes.
So, no, I don't have that kind of like when it's done, like for me, when I'm done with it, eventually I could roll it and forget about it. It's not that it's like, oh, I'm so proud of my baby. It's like, okay, I put like an emotion on paper, and then when it's like when you watch a beautiful movie and you watch it like once and it's done, and then okay,
Yes.
it gave you so much, and then it can go. I mean,
So yes, to live another life.
yeah, I mean it's not like of course there's some pieces I love because maybe they represented for me an evolution, especially in psychological terms, because drawing it's
Yes.
so related to psychology as well. And then there are some pieces that I'm attached to, but not because of the drawing itself, but because of the moment. And
That is exactly what I mean. I have that with the photos. I have maybe maximum 5 that I have kept, and it's the emotion, or yes, or to say like the evolution on that moment in that period of life, and it's really strange. Yes,
yeah, and
but
then yeah, but it's really like a few pieces that I feel like that.
and do you also like when you teach? Do you also teach like this whole thing? Because like for you, you started off like fashion designer, and then when you go to your path, your career path, you have done so much more with it. Uh, Do you also teach that aspect, or to students that they say like, okay, you have this degree, but you have this large scale that you can do if you see by yourself.
No, for now, I'm not teaching like any stuff which is related to opera or pre-visualization, if this is what you mean.
No, it's usually what you can do with your skills usually. Because I know, like with young aspiring photographers, sometimes they ask and say, like, okay, you have this,
Hmm.
but try to see it further than what you have obtained with your degree. You can do so much more with it.
Hmm.
So
But
I don't know if you talk about it in classes or like reflect with them because you have those questions coming up from them.
no, I certainly like discuss about my career path with my students, and I discuss with them about like the works I've done, and I present them as case studies for them to to learn. That of course I do, but I don't do like any specifics like courses about like my own. Yeah, I do I mean the styling, yes. Like I teach like styling courses, and that I do, but like not like the pre-visualization things.
Okay. Voilà. And this course you do a little bit different. You are doing like I try to see.
Yeah, it's like it's she has like a different pattern going on her, but I'm like rendering it as an abstract like thing because it's not really like that in reality. And so I'm just like going off of like some little shapes that I think like fits. And there's gonna be like a lot of work on this as well, but if I remember correctly, like we have 1 hour and maybe what time is it? Like I think it's almost we are
Yes, it's
almost
almost
it's almost
there.
over.
Yeah, and you're almost finished. It's still one. So,
Yeah.
Mhm. So
Do
the 20
anyone has
minutes.
like questions that they want to like do anyone want to know anything?
Yeah, I will ask them if they want. For the moment, not yet, but everyone is just looking and sending hearts. So,
Oh, that's good to know because I'm here drawing and I'm like, oh, I don't really know what everyone is thinking,
yeah,
and I cannot really watch what you see. Like I'm here and I'm like, woo, but I don't know if it looks good or not. But
I can
anyways,
see the whole thing. I can see the
okay,
everything coming together.
cool.
Mm. And why did you choose to draw from Peter Dundas from his collection?
Because it was like a contest
Yeah.
for FIDA worldwide,
Mhm.
and it was about like drawing his iconic pieces, and then he will select one person, and I don't know.
Yeah. I have one question here. I said, Debbie says, do you always use charcoal?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Do you always use charcoal?
No, it's basically it's like first time in this scale, and not that much. I use like a pencil, India ink, markers, but like yeah, charcoal. It's like very unique, and I thought I ate it like the opera, and I'm loving it. So
Yeah.
it's like the love stories when you met the guy and you're like, I hate that guy, and then you marry him. Like quite
Yeah.
like the same thing. Yeah.
And Gabriele says, what is your favorite technique?
My favorite technique before charcoal, because now we love charcoal. We love charcoal. Uh, I think it was like India ink, which is like this guy over here. And I'm gonna mess up this drawing if I make you see, but I just have it by chance over here. Like, can you see it?
Yes. A little bit closer, then you can see. Yes, I can see. Yes. Now we can see.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
So it's like super contrasting, like the stark black and white I love. And yeah.
And I also remember it's like you were doing a drawing and then you were doing the earrings. And what was it? It was ink that you were using as well? You did a
For
drawing where you were using like for the earrings and you were putting like I
yeah,
think it was some kind of ink. Yes.
yes, that was ink.
Mhm.
Okay.
And where did you learn that to use about those techniques? Also school or?
No, like I have to say that, yeah, no, I mean, I graduated in an amazing school that gave like a lot of background about like tailoring and stuff and drawing as well. But this kind of things are completely experimental because, at fashion school, you don't have time to go through everything. And so it's basically, I did it after.
But after that you followed school, or was it more like on yourself or from a friend?
Uh, I'm sorry, I'm not sure. Can you repeat the question?
The question is like after your graduation,
Yeah.
to learn about the technique, you had some schooling as well, of course.
No, I graduated and that was it. And then I just like did it on my own. I just like experimented what I liked best. And yeah.
Yeah. That's good. It's really nice.
Yeah, there's this is gonna go on for at least like another hour, but
Mm.
because it's gonna take time to give it like some depth, like the other one. They need to balance each other, and then I have that one as well. So
Yeah. And
it's gonna
do
take.
you have already an idea what pattern you're going to put on the third one, or not yet? Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be like an abstract version of like what's in real life. So it's gonna be like a sort of like a little V-shaped sort of pattern, and that's it. Tell me when it's over.
Almost. We still have a few minutes. So I said, if they have questions, they can still send.
Cool.
Hmm. I can write up a bit.
But I have to say that I'm digging the large scale so much. And you know the story of this paper? I found this paper close to the bin, like in the
Yeah.
trash, because now I changed like apartment, but I used to live in Trastevere, and in my like
Yes.
building, I guess there was like, Trastevere, it's a very artsy neighborhood in Rome. And I think in the building you have like another artist. And then I found this like two beautiful, perfect condition roll of papers like close to the trash cans in the courtyard where we had like the
Yes.
bins. And I'm just like, hmm, I'm gonna get this. And there I go. Who
See?
knew? Who knew that they would end up like this?
Mhm. No, I've been to I said, the area where they were living before. In summer, you have like also festivals, not far from there.
Yeah, I mean, Trastevere is a super alive area in Rome. It's super nice. I love it.
Okay.
I miss to have breakfast in Trastevere with my sketchbook to draw. That is something that I really miss. I don't miss parties. I miss my friends, of course, my family, but like like one activity that I really miss is like the drawing outside while you sip like a nice coffee.
Mhm. And there's also a place where you get inspired as well, eh?
Yes, I like to draw people like in the city, while they like when they sit like close to you and you can watch them and you stalk them and you draw them.
Okay. And do you have like for the future any plans? What's up for the future?
Well, the situation here, it's like changing fast. So I don't know. Honestly, oh my God, I need to scratch my nose, but I can't. Look, it's getting
Yeah.
worse and worse and worse. So, like the situation, like I don't know. I don't know because everything is changing. Fashion is will change a
It
lot.
will change definitely a
And
lot.
yeah, we need to reconfigure and to think about like what's our place in the universe other than job and like everything else. So I'm using this time to think and reflect, but I don't have an answer yet. I want to keep creating this like for sure, but I don't know in which form and in which way, but for sure like I'll always be creating. So that's gonna be my go-to, even if I would only do it for myself, but I would just do it like always.
Okay. Well, I think we have. Yes, time is almost up now.
Time's up.
Yeah. But you did great. It's like wow.
I
So
don't
I
know.
think
I'm not sure. I think you're just being very nice to me, but I need to like take some time because also like you need time to let it sit and then watch again. So I don't know. We'll see.
yes. So I'm looking forward to see the end result of it, and once we have it, I think we can If you like, if you allow me, we can share it
Yeah, for sure.
on
Please
our
save
socials.
the live because I would be glad to see.
You'll get the live. Don't worry. I'll send it to you.
Thank you so
Let's
much.
keep let's keep in touch, and
Sure.
we'll do some things together. I'm sure of that.
Yes.
And yeah, stay safe
Stay
and
safe.